Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is not going to be a very long video, and this is actually not really directed toward people that watch my channel. Maybe it could be, but this video is not really geared. It's kind of like me putting out general information on this. And what led me to make this video was because I always get approached about people wanting lessons or wanting to play or whatever. And it's kind of like if I sit there and I get on the keyboards and the point that I'm making this video, and that's probably loud because the camera is probably close to the speaker. So the point of, if I'm sitting there, okay, the point that I'm playing just a little bit, because people know I can play. Maybe some people don't. The point that I'm making this video is like there are always musicians, whether you're a guitar player, and some of your favorite musicians may be George Benson, or it could be Norman Brown, or it could be whoever, right? It could be Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace, or guitar players, or it could be bass players. Whether it's anyone from Nathan East to Stanley Clark to Victor Wooten or whoever, or your favorite drummers or your favorite keyboard players or your whatever the case. And some of these musicians are so phenomenal that it just blows your mind on the stuff they're doing, right? On the bass or the keys or the guitar, or trumpet players such as Wynton Marsalis or whatever. The only difference between what separates these musicians and maybe you can't play, or you're trying to learn to play or whatever, and someone's trying to play. The only difference between people that are really great at playing an instrument or whatever is practice. Period. And what it is for a person that wants to play an instrument, that whether it's keys or whatever, right? Or whatever, right? It's kind of like whatever instrument you're trying to. The only thing that really makes a person better than if you can't play is passion and dedication to put in the time to practice. Period. That's in everything. I don't care if this person starts out to be a beautician. It doesn't matter if this person will start to be a barber, a mechanic, a cook, construction worker, an architect. It doesn't matter. Whenever people do stuff over and over and over, they get better at it. It becomes second nature. The object is the difference when a person plays. For example, if I sit there and play this keyboard and I go, right? If I do that, it's second nature because I practice. Whenever you see people perform, it's because they practice so much. It's so second nature. It becomes effortless. The mind starts to adapt to muscle memory because you do it so much. You don't have to. It's kind of like when before someone's trying to learn how to, and you're doing this over and over and over. It becomes so second nature that before you know, you're doing it so fast. You're doing it so much, but the way you do it, you have to put in practice. There are so many people that want to be good, but they don't want to put into practice. Practice is the time consumption part. And people think that, well, I can be good in an hour. If I just practice for an hour, I can be good. No, your mind takes so long to become to a certain level. The more you practice, the more you're going to advance. Period. The more you practice, the more you're going to advance. And what happens is a person can practice this, right? Or whatever, right? And you're going to practice so many different things that you just apply. And it's no different than, it's kind of like when you go to your job and you put in a password, because you put in that password so many times, it becomes, you can do it without even looking at it. Like, oh, I can click. Now, that's because you do it over and over and over. So your mind has to adapt to doing something over and over before it becomes effortlessly. It's like when you look at a person that plays basketball or baseball, whatever, the reason why they can hit the ball or shoot the ball or whatever, because they do it over and over and over. And your mind becomes, before you know it, becomes effortlessly. And that's the only way you're going to be good. It's like if you watch any of these musicians out there that you may admire, and let's say they can do all this amazing stuff on this instrument, and you're like, man, I never. The only difference between the reason why they can do it and you can't is because they dedicated more time doing the things that is amazing you. That's it. So if I sit there and if I practice this, right, and I'm just doing, I'm just playing major scale, just doing chromatics, right? I've done it so much it becomes effortless, right? It's just effortlessly. So when I sit there and I start playing chords or whatever, I've been playing for 42 years, but if I hadn't been playing for 42 years, and the problem with people that quit, because a lot of people realize when people quit, you'll never be good when you quit. Because, there are a lot of people, you know what stops a person from becoming good at something? It's quitting. That's it. You know what makes a person good at something? They constantly practice at it. That's the only variable between the two. If a person quits, of course they'll never be good at it because they don't want to. It's like, and the you know what it is a mindset thing. They realize when people quit at stuff, it's because they don't either they don't have the passion or the dedication to put in the time to practice whatever it is. Some people, what makes a person when they have a passion for something, when they want to do something so bad, they're going to practice at it. Whether it's cooking, whether it's doing hair, whether it's whatever. They're not going to quit. They're going to like, you know what? And no one, and this reason why, like when a person becomes a musician as a kid, you got to look at this. Think about this for a second. A child, let's say they learn to play a trumpet or a trombone or saxophone or whatever, and they start at 10 years old. By the time they graduate high school, you're talking 18, right? We're talking 8 years of just playing every year in band. If they don't quit, by the time they reach high school senior status, most musicians that play an instrument in a band will be good enough to enter college level. And you listen to a college marching band or whatever, imagine how good a college band sounds. And most college students are 19 to average between 19 to 23, 24 years old. when they started when they were 9 or 10 years old, by the time they reached the age of 22, they've been playing for 12 years. Imagine how good they are, because they play every year, and they play practically, especially during the school season, all years, all school season long. So they're playing an instrument not, at least 9 to 10 months out of the year. So imagine if you're doing it every day in band for 9 to 10 months every year for 8, 9, 10 years. Imagine how good you're going to get. And we're talking, so it's the same thing with anything when you apply. You think about when someone sits there and they do something, they're like, oh, how long you been doing this? Oh, I've been doing this for 5 years. Oh, you're pretty good. How long you been doing it? For 10 years. Oh, you're good. Oh, how long you been doing it? 25 years. Oh, you're a pro. Or how long you been doing this? Oh, I've been doing it for 30 years. Oh, that thing is a master. That guy's a master at it. Whatever it is. So that's the only separator. When I watch all these musicians that do all this amazing stuff, whether it's a bass player doing all this amazing stuff on the bass, or I don't care if it's, I'll name a few bass players like Nathan East or Victor Wooten or Mohina Day or whatever. It doesn't matter when you're watching them now. Look at when they start. They didn't sound like that when they started. If you go back, let's say we'll use Victor Wooten, phenomenal bass player, right? Victor Wooten didn't start out like that when he started. I think he started when he was 3 or 4 years old, 5 years old. He didn't sound like he do now. Then he sounded very elementary when he was 5, 6 years old, just like most people do. Most people sound very basic. They stumble, all those little mistakes and all that. And but when you practice and you practice and you practice and you practice and you do it over and over and over and over, that's the reason why it becomes effortless, because you're doing it over and over and over. That's called practicing. That's it. Other than that, when you do it so much, like I've been playing keys for 42 years. So that's why it's effortlessly for me to play keys. Because I've been playing for 40 plus years. I can sit there. It's effortless because I don't even have to look at the keys because I've been playing it for 40 plus years. 40 plus years. But I didn't start like that. I like everyone else. So the moral of this video, to end the video, is this. If you want to be good, you have to have a passion and dedication to want to practice. And when you want to practice, I'm not talking 10 minutes. I'm talking about a few hours a day. And you do this every day. And you just you're going to notice your progress. Some people progress really, really fast, practice a few hours a day. Some people take a little bit longer, but you have to practice. You have to practice. And you have to dedicate time to it. Every single day. You practice at it every single day, and your mind develops, your muscles and your muscle memory, and it becomes effortlessly when you do something every day. Even if you was doing if you did that every day, it's going to sound hard. But by the time in a year, you're gonna go and before you know it, or I don't know, so that's going to do it for the video. That's the only separator between the two. A person, if they don't have the dedication and passion, they're going to quit. That's all it is. A person has to have dedication and passion to do something. I don't care if you want to be a ball player in the NBA, you want to be whatever. You have to have dedication and passion for it. If you have a dedication and passion for it, you're gonna want to put it. Then you'll dedicate the time to practice at it. Once you practice at it, over time, it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier and easier, and before you know, it's effortlessly. then you become really, really good at it because it becomes effortless. The difference between a pro is it's effortless for them to do whatever it is that they're doing. It's effortless because they do it all the time. That's the only difference. Everyone has the same 2 thumbs and 4 fingers. Well, most people do. You know, our abilities as a human, you know, whether you're male or female, are no different. You know, so this is why you see the only difference, this is the reason why you see so many phenomenal musicians. The difference between that phenomenal musician and yourself is because they dedicated nothing but time and practice at whatever it is that they're doing. This is the reason why Nathan East or Mahina Day or whatever, or Victor Wooten could do so much phenomenal stuff on the bass, because that's all they do. They practice all the time. All the time. All the time. All the time. They practice all the time. They don't, you know, and that's going to do it for the video. So thanks for watching, and I hope this is a motivator for people. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great one.